Hello, friends. This is John Clan III of episode 139 of Shadow and Flame with Magic, the podcast. And today we're going to review New Mutants. Nope. Ultimate X-Men issue 42, New Mutants Part 3. So let's get to it. So this comic came out in April 2004. My copy is fine, and I bought it from Mile High Comics. The creative team is Brian Michael Bendis for the story, David Finch pencils, inks Art Thibert, colors Frank DeMarta, letters Chris Eliopoulos, assistant editors Mackenzie Cottonhead and Nick Lowe, C.B. Cebulski is the associate editor, Ralph Macchio is the editor-in-chief Joe Quesada, and publisher Dan Buckley. They decided to do a fun thing where first names are in black and last names are a shade of yellow that's just a little darker than the background yellow. So that was a choice. The pop inside cover ad is for Sonic Heroes, which was rated E for mild fantasy violence on the Xbox, PlayStation 2, and Nintendo GameCube. Just to let you know where we are in the timeline. And since this came out in 2004, we have a handy recap page. Our cast is Charles Xavier, Professor X, Scott Summers, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Marvel Girl, Aurora Monroe, Storm, Logan, Wolverine, Kitty Pryde, Shadowcat, Hank McCoy, Beast, and Peter Rasputin, Colossus. And Professor Charles Xavier brought them together to bridge the gap between humanity and those born with strange and amazing powers. Cyclops, Marvel Girl, Storm, Iceman, Beast, Colossus, and Wolverine. Oh yeah. So, same cast, but Kitty Pryde instead of Iceman. Pretty big improvement, I would say. They are the X-Men, soldiers for Xavier's war to bring peace between man and mutant. Previously, in Ultimate X-Men, the X-Men have gone public in an attempt to carry their pro-mutant human relations message forward. The X-Men now fall under the jurisdiction of World Security Leader Nick Fury, with both the government and the Xavier trying to figure out exactly how this new relationship will work. Unknown to the rest of the X-Men, Hank McCoy, aka the Beast, left Xavier's mansion after he thought the new member Angel stole his girlfriend's affections. Hank's disappearance might be the least of their problems. And if you go on my TikTok at Jacko SII, I made a quick video about this, the highlighted images that you can see nicer on the podcast's Twitter and Instagram page at SNFWM. So that'll post after I'm done recording. And so we open up at the White House with the president, who they try to only show from behind. And Karma's there, and she's working with, I guess that's a government liaison. And as the government tries to get their own team of mutants together. And then we cut to Xavier's School for Gifted Children as Scott and Jean are sitting outside. She killed someone in their previous mission, and Scott's is not sure if she has full control of her powers. And it's a concern Jean has as well. There's an ad here for Jet Li's Rise to Honor on the PlayStation, which I don't remember at all. As well as Spider-Man is P.com, which I don't know what this is even about, but I guess the internet's new here. But Scott's promising that he will always be there for Jean, and this is drawn by David Finch, so it just looks amazing. And we finally get to our first page where the comic really begins. And Xavier's talking to the X-Men, and Beast is there, so I guess he's not left yet. Students, we have an interesting situation. There's a mutant who's going to go to public. She is some kind of performer and she is going to out herself to the media for the attention. I was wondering if any of you felt like taking a trip out to meet this person. Maybe talk to her, get a sense of what she's going to say or do publicly, how she plans on presenting her mutant abilities on the public stage, maybe coach her a little. Scott, you're very good at this sort of thing. Take the plane and a couple of your classmates. Your choice. And Ultimate Shadowcat speaks up. Who is it? Someone famous? Not yet, Kitty Cat. And then we see it's a concert featuring Dazzler, the Skit Tricks, Splatterfoot, Monday, February 11th, 8 p.m. Door. All ages, Rosalind at First S. It's 1 SW 3rd Avenue, so 1 Southwest 3rd Avenue? Oh man, there's a phone number here. I wonder. Oh, this is maybe a real phone number. 503-231-6023. Let's pause this and give this a call. All right, well, that was disappointing. Verizon said the number was disconnected, and Googling the number, it does come up with White Pages Brian Michael Bendis address and phone number, so maybe it was his at one point. I wonder if he got an automated phone call. Which now I'm wondering, this comic is literally 20 years old. Like, you know, does not feel that long ago. Like, I remember myself reading this when it first came out and recognizing how great Brian Michael Bendis was. Like, he was rocking on Ultimate Spider-Man, and Ultimate X-Men was maybe wavering, but still better than Ultimate Fantastic Four. Shots fired, maybe a hot take. But, Bendis on Ultimate X-Men, like, what a treat it was. And so we cut to the concert. Dazzler's like, eat my butt, you burr burr burr. Swallow this, you burr. So she is very punk. And the crowd's getting into it. And we see in the back that Cyclops brought her and Colossus. And we see Kitty saying, I like them. And you tell Scott that is not comfortable here. And then we see or not even backstage, but outside, Dazzler. And later comics, she will make a point of saying how she's the band's Dazzler. Her name's Allison. So Allison, oh no, so Kitty's like, cool show. Yeah. I don't want to be alert, but can I have your autograph? And then Allison just like goes, Chapool! Which is not mindful. And Kitty's just there, like, mouth open, like, can't believe her book got spat on. Cyclops is like, yeah. We represent the X-Men. You may have heard of us. We're mutant peacekeeping. Ugh, you serious? Yes. We want to talk to you about your future plans and what is it with you mutant groups? I already said no. What? I don't need all this mutant crap. I need distribution for my album. Yeah, okay. What I need a record contract. I'll tell you what I told the others. I need a record deal. If I can get me a record deal, I'll sign with you. If not, it's noise, okay? Whoever gets me a record deal gets on the team. I'm sorry. Who else were you talk? I don't know you. I don't know them. I don't know. All I'm hearing is noise, man. Be gone. Bendis' dialogue deserves to be read aloud. Xavier's, and we see Storm is focused. And maybe not her best idea of what she's had, but I do like Ultimate Storm. But she's by a tree, holding her physics book, and she creates a mini little cloud, like a fist size of a fist cloud, and it not only creates a cloud, but it actually creates its own lightning and rain, and it zaps her book. But she's super excited, so she runs up to talk to Hank. There's an ad here for Champions of Norrath, Realms of EverQuest for the PS2. So she's super excited. She's flying her way to Hank. She flies above Bobby and Rogue. Rogue has some type of hot dish, and Bobby has 4 drinks, so I wonder what they were going to eat. And then she gets to Hank's empty room. She is not happy about this. And an awesome four-panel sequence. We see the nice sunny day. It gets overcast. It gets um even like darker. And then the storm comes. There's a teaser ad for Final Fantasy 11 Online coming out in March um, for the PS2. So they've made their decisions. It's just the tagline is anticipation. They were back to the White House as someone's talking to the president about the X-Men situation. Like Fury's still trying to figure out what's supposed to be happening, right, or to figure out how they're going to move forward. And they're also trying to protect the White House from any telepaths. Then we get to what maybe my favorite thing is Wizard Magazine, big enough company that they're going to take a whole page ad to find out who the best comics of 2003 was, even though here it does say 2002. But reading it now, it's clearly 2003. And just to let you, and I did this on Twitter, and it'd been nice if I had enough followers, but some people voted. So let me check in with my Twitter account, Jacko SII, and see if anyone else voted. So I posted it, and it looks like I didn't get more than 4 votes, which is a shame, as it took me like 20 minutes to make all these results. But let's just go down it for historic sake. So favorite writer, mine went to Brian Michael Bendis, but Jeff Jones, Jeff Loeb, and J. Michael Straczynski and Mark Waid were nominated. And George Perez, nope, spoiler. And Bendis won the Twitter one. And then favorite penciler, I would have gone with George Perez, but David Finch, Brian Hitch, Andy Kubert, and Jim Lee were also nominated. And George Perez won the Twitter one. Favorite breakout talent, I went with Scott Collins, but Trevor Hershine, Alex Mayleaf, Mike McCone, and Josh Middleton won, and Scott Collins won here as well. Favorite inker, separated from penciler, which is an interesting choice. Scott Hanna, Danny Miki, Jimmy Palmiotti, Art Thibert, and Scott Willems nominated. I voted for Palmiotti. Curious or interesting that the entire creative team for this issue was nominated. And Jimmy won the Twitter account, as he should have. Favorite painter, Greg Horn, Dave Johnson, David Mack, Gabriel Del Otto, and Alex Ross, and I voted Alex Ross. And we had a tie with Gabriel Del Otto and Alex Ross. Favorite colorist, Hi-Fi Design, Laura Martin, Alex Sinclair, Dave Stewart, and Udon. That's a studio, I believe. And I should say on Twitter, I had to eliminate one person because you can only do 4 options. But yeah, I felt like who I voted, yeah, I omitted wouldn't have done well. And I think I went. Oh, and I went Laura Martin for her astonishing X-Men run, even though I think that's a year away from happening. Oh yeah, of course it is because this is during the Morrison era. And Laura Martin won Twitter. Favorite letter, Chris Eliopoulos, Todd Klein, no relation, Dave Lapierre, Ken Lopez, and Richard Starkings in Comic Craft, which I went with Chris Eliopoulos, who's a great creator to follow. But Richard Starkings probably would have been my close second. So I remember Todd Klein's name too. And Ken Lopez won online, which is interesting. Favorite editor: Axel Alonso, Eddie Bergonza, Tom Brevoort, Ralph Macchio, and Jim McLaughlin, who was a former Wizard employee. And I would have gone with Tom Brevoort. And the internet did as well. Favorite hero: Batman, Captain America, Daredevil, Hellboy, and Spider-Man, specifically Ultimate Spider-Man, which I don't think I wrote on my Twitter account, but oh, and there's write-in votes too, but I don't know what scenario a write-in vote would have gotten much, but I would of course have done Kitty Pryde at the time. But here, since it was Ultimate Spider-Man, I voted Ultimate Spider-Man. We had a tie between Daredevil and Spider-Man. Favorite heroine: Arwen from Sojourn, Emma Frost, Jessica Jones, Mystique, and Wonder Woman. I would Emma Frost, as did the internet. Favorite villain: Deathstroke, Doctor Doom, Hush, Red Skull, and Zorn Magneto, which I wrote in Magneto for the X-Men representation. And Magneto got the majority of votes. And then we got favorite supporting character: Catwoman, Ezekiel, Ultimate Mary Jane Watson, Ultimate Nick Fury, and Snake Eyes. And I think I went Mary Jane and oh yeah, as did the internet. And then we have favorite ongoing series: Batman, Fantastic Four, New X-Men, Teen Titans, and Ultimate Spider-Man. And I wasn't quite on board with the Morrison X-Men, mostly as Kitty wasn't in books, so she was guest starring in Extreme X-Men from time to time, and Magic wasn't around, so there just wasn't like I think I was getting mini issues, but like I know for a fact when I got the omnibus for the Morrison era, like that was the first time I read many of those issues. Um, so I voted Ultimate Spider-Man, as did the internet. Favorite miniseries: 1602, which is mostly a waste. JLA Avengers, Superman Red Sun, Transformers G.I. Joe crossover, and Ultimate 6, which I went JLA Avengers, as did the internet. Favorite one shot: Adventures of Gus Beezer, X-Men, which I looked up on fandom and is mostly the Grant Morrison X-Men team. Fables: The Last Castle, Planetary Batman crossover, Sandman Endless Nights, and Tomb Raider Epiphany. And I went Tomb Raider because I couldn't figure out which one of these. Oh no, no, I went Adventures of Gus Beezer because of the X-Men subtitle. All right. Favorite publisher: CrossGen, Dark Horse, DC Comics, Marvel Comics, and Top Cow Productions. And we had a three-way tie. I wonder if I swapped out CrossGen for Dark Horse, would it have been different? Favorite comic merchandise: Batman action figures by Mattel, HeroClix Explosion, Hulk Hands, Kingdom Come action figures by DC Direct, or Marvel Legends by Toy Biz. And I believe I voted for the HeroClix Explosions, but Marvel Legends got the vote. And then favorite comic, TV, or movie project: Daredevil, Justice League, the Cartoon Network, Smallville, Spider-Man, the MTV series, which wasn't horrible, and X2, X-Men United, and I went X-Men 2. Well, I would not have assumed Daredevil and X-Men 2 came out in the same year. And X-Men 2 got the vote, but Action or Justice League got second place, so that's nice. Favorite comics greatest moment from 2002, but they mean three. Clayface returns as Jason Todd from Batman 617. Doctor Doom scars Reed Richards from Fantastic Four 500. Spider-Man picturing Jean Grey naked, Ultimate Spider-Man 43, which I left off the list. Thor hitting Superman with Mjolnir from Joey Avengers 1. And then the Zorn revealed to be Magneto in X-Men 146. Which I think I voted Oh no, I went the Zorn reveal as Magneto for the X-Men, but the Thor hitting Superman was just awesome. But the Doctor Doom scars Reed Richards got a vote, so that's nice. Oh, and one of my Twitter friends, I respond M left a comment I didn't see, so I should respond to that, but I will later. And so yeah, not too shabby. And so they believe, so back to the comic. Um, and this is clearly President Bush, but they're doing all they can to like block him. And so the White House is trying to make nice of Xavier, but also they need to have precautions because it's Xavier. Um, there's a prescription here, and at the time was Marvel Heroes, Incredible Hulk, Avengers, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Fantastic Four, Iron Man, and Thor, and this is the Wade Wingo Fantastic Four, so I would have recommended that. Marvel Ultimates, which is weird that they don't put it Ultimates Marvel, but it's not like they're trying to protect the alphabetical order. But Ultimates Fantastic Four, which is new apparently. Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate X-Men. And I had dropped Ultimates a lot like early in its run, and Ultimate Fantastic Four never did capture my imagination. So I will go on Spider-Man, X-Men, and X-Men titles was Exiles, Mystique, which might have been the Sean McKeever Mystique. Uncanny X-Men, Wolverine, X-Statix, New X-Men, Extreme X-Men. So I would have been Exiles, Mystique, and Extreme X-Men. Spider-Man was Amazing Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, and Spider-Girl. And this is the JMS era, so I would have gone Amazing at the time. And Marvel Knights is still holding on with Daredevil and Elektra. They get to the Wolverine pages saying how there are some dangerous mutants. Their Daredevil video game is advertised, but I want to say it never comes, right? But they have an idea of getting their own X-Men team. Oh, there's an ad here for the most dynamic Marvel store of them all. There's some dioramas and you can buy some comics. Amazing Spider-Man 500 just came out, so that's cool. Uncanny X-Men lithograph by Joe Quesada. That looks pretty cool. Very small on the page, so I'm just trying to see if it even has Kitty Pryde on it. I see Polaris, the original five, Wolverine, of course, 90s Cyclops, Storm's there, Xavier's big old head. Oh man, they're even selling a lithograph by Jim Lee somehow. And a dramatic page flip, and we see Emma Frost wearing a very great sleek outfit that is full body covering her. It's like a lab coat, but actually buttoned for once. Sir, my name is Emma Frost. It's an honor to meet you. I've been putting something together that might interest you. And so she's going to have Karma on her team. I should mention this is issue 42. Doing so as I'm 42 now, and we've got a couple more 42 comics out to review, leaving the last one for December. Just a little tradition we've done last year that I sort of like. And that, everyone, was Ultimate X-Men 42. And let's see what comics came out last week. I'm at that point now where like I need to take my glasses off to read comics, but to read Twitter, I gotta put them back on. So comics that came out last week. I had zero interest in Deadpool. Namor 2 did not have Sting Ray, so I skipped it. Oh, Phoenix 2 was a huge improvement. We got Jean Grey and Corsair hanging out. Apparently, the Starjammers abandoned him. We get an interesting choice in that Cyclops does not trust his father at this moment, which feels like a real backward step, but maybe there's some issues I don't recall, but and there's also a very inappropriate moment where like he's talking to Jean while just wearing a towel. That's like, all right, Corsair, that's not great. Did not take a look at Scarlet Witch. Oh yeah, and the Wolverine Revenge 1 came out by Jonathan Hickman and Greg Capullo, and I don't know, Wolverine, for me to get interested in an ongoing or miniseries or one shot, well, one, not being about Logan will help, but like I need, if it's gonna be Logan, I need it to be like some X-Men buddy, or he needs a buddy on the title for me to be somewhat interested in it. And they went with Colossus, which I does not interest me either. So I was like, all right. Though Capullo did hint that he drew Danny and Moonstar and Forge at one point, so we will wait for that. And then comics coming out on Wednesday, which will be in Missoula for the Pink concert, so we're excited about that. Aliens versus Avengers 1, which has a very cool AVA logo. Um, Char Chasm, Curse of Cain, 1 comes out by Steve Fox. That's Ben Riley Chasm and Cain in the Scarlet Spider outfit. Deadpool Team Up 1 finally comes out by Liefeld. That if you're a Crystar fan, that should interest you. Marvel 85th Anniversary Special number 1 um, has an Excalibur story on there, which unfortunately they just went with Captain Britain and Nightcrawler on the cover, but Kitty Pryde's on the preview pages, so I'm hoping I could convince my lovely wife so that we can swing by Muse Comics in Missoula and pick that up. That'd be nice. NYX2, that hopefully we don't follow Empath too much in there. And that hopefully he's being kind to the cuckoos, especially Mindy. Phases of the Moon Knight 1 comes out. Oh, Ultimate X-Men 6. So that's always a huge plus. Still waiting for Magic to show up in that, as she's one of the rulers of Russia or mutant rulers, I should say. So, but so far it just exists in its own little pocket of the Ultimate Universe. But we have seen preview or solicitations with the future covers, and at one point, like Magic or the Ultimates are going to start taking notice of them. Venom War is still going strong. Oh, and X Force 2. Oh, and X Men 3. Okay, so most likely X Men 3 is going to be the spotlight of the week. So as that gives us our Magic content. Um, and then X Force 2 gives us Rachel Summers, so that's great, and Betsy, and Sage, and Forge, and Surge, and now I'm self-conscious about other people. Um, so yeah, Surge is in 2 books, X Force 2 and Ultimate X-Men 6, so that's fun. So yeah, so X-Men, X-Force, X-Men 3, X-Force 2, Ultimate X-Men 6 and NYX2 is my guess of how I will rank the week. Well, most likely Ultimate X-Men is going to be number 1, X-Men X-Force. And yeah. So we will see what how that unfolds, and then come back next week as we talk about those. Well, thank you everyone for listening. What did I not promote in the episode? YouTube, Jackal SII. I've been uploading a bunch of Fortnite Emma Frost videos. Walker D just unlocked the Black Queen skin, and he did that at level 113, which I don't know, is way too early. Like I'm at level like 61 and I'm already like self-conscious of like I'm way too leveled up. But recognizing that Walker D has school like on Friday, school starts Wednesday, Thursday, but we're going to see Pink, and so, a little irresponsible, but my wife works at the school where she's good friends with his new teacher, so we're working it out. But it's like we spent all this time giving him like a fun summer, nowhere near the highlight of like Nintendo World last year, but or Nintendo Land, but right, like doing all this stuff so that maybe when they ask him what his first day of school or what his summer was like, he's not going to shrug and be like, "Oh, I did some stuff." And it's like, "No, buddy, you did all this fun stuff." But um he's going to miss out on those 2 days, but I don't know, most likely they're going to give him a little moment to be like, "Hey, everyone, here's Walker D." Um so yeah, so Pink on Wednesday, something super excited. I guess if you're there, might as well pick up X-Men 3 and yeah, should be good. Uh And if I can flip through X Force, that'd be nice, but who knows? Um. And I beat Midnight Suns. And was this going to be dumb if I didn't start Assassin's Creed 3? But I'm sort of close to. Well, no, I was close to getting 2 trophies, so I got those. And now I'm awkwardly like 4 away from the platinum. But one of the platinums is to do missions led by each person, and then do the a card that took 10 heroism points to do, which I read countless times it was unmissable, but I clearly missed it. So I'm like, well, shoot. Like, I messed out on. So, and then do a 100% dark side choices, which I did start a new game to see, like, well, because I remember getting the 100% good choices and being at least somewhere in the middle of Act Two, so it's probably not the huge time because if I just mainline the main missions, but um, so I started that, but I don't know my heart's in it. But we'll see. I did a male version this time around, so that should be interesting. But I'm not going to make any videos because I'm not committing to it. So ideally, I'll be able to play Assassin's Creed 3 again. I did 1 hour and then stopped. Got my 1 trophy and then um stopped because of the virtue of like the share factory only lets you upload an hour at a time. So I plus it's hard as an adult to play for hours on. Though yesterday my lovely wife decided to, I guess she's part of a book club for the school or something, so she spent most of the day reading, and so I was like, well, I'm gonna do Midnight Suns because I literally, as soon as I played it, be doing the final mission. And so yeah, beat it, and then I pretty much was like, well, let me chip away all these trophies, and did it. So, pretty nice. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for listening, and you ask a friend to subscribe and listen. Try to still get this podcast off the ground, it feels like. But I really appreciate you, dear listener, for listening, and I will talk at you next time. All right, everyone. Bye.